Hey everybody, Retro Matt here. Today we're going to be working on a Logitech MX Revolution mouse. This is a mouse that I used for many years. Love the mouse. Stopped using it mainly because it uses 2.4 gigahertz, and when we used to live in a more urban area, there were so many Wi-Fi signals around us that it just became just about unusable. So now that we live out here in the country, it's a lot easier for me to use something like this. There shouldn't be any interference anymore. When I bring up Wi-Fi and do scans around my area, I show maybe 2 neighbors intermittently. And we have great Wi-Fi here now. There's no interference from other people. So I want to go back to using this mouse, and I'm going to need the mouse for doing different videos, video editing, because the mouse is actually very nice. It has several different features on it. Scroll mouse on the top, another one here on the bottom, kind of a toggle wheel. It has lots of wheels. It'll be great for doing video editing. So we're going to open it up because it does need some repair. The wheel doesn't turn anymore. The battery had started to go bad years ago, and I had purchased a battery here in the hopes of at some point replacing the battery so that it lasted longer between charges. So we're going to go ahead and open it up, clean it up, fix the scroll wheel, put a new battery in it. That way I can start using it again. So we'll get to it. On the bottom of the mouse here, you got a couple of different pads here for sliding it around. From what I understand, there's screws under here and under this one and under this one as well. So we're going to peel these back, and hopefully we'll be able to reuse the stickiness that's on them if we don't damage them too much. So I think we'll grab this here, try to peel it back a little bit. So we'll peel this back, try to save it, try not to curl it too much. See if we can get underneath there a little bit more. Well, we haven't done a very good job here. I might have to flatten it out a little bit. Hopefully it'll still work for us. Take some of the glue off. Might have to use a heat gun to get that back down flat. We'll set that aside. We got 2 screws here. From what I understand, there's another one under here and here. We'll try and grab a spring hook here and get underneath it a little bit, the edge. If you don't own a spring hook, it's something that every person that works on things should have. It's not something you see real common in a lot of on a lot of people's benches. Spring hooks, if you don't know, they're great for grabbing hold of springs and either disconnecting them from things or working them back in and hooking them around different pawls and whatnot. I used to use these back in the day for working on Selectric typewriters. So Selectric, if you ever looked inside one, it is just a mass of springs and clutches and motors and all that stuff. And spring hook, if you didn't have one, you weren't fixing one of those. So, but it has so many different purposes for getting in, tight places, grabbing hold of small parts, whatnot. If you don't have a spring hook, you should have one. You'll find that you use it a lot. So I'm just going to use it here and kind of get under the tip and start to push it here. And actually this is working better than the other tool. It's not damaging it as much. So that worked out well. So now I got those off and out of the way. They're not too badly damaged. So we will take a small Phillips here and pull these screws out so we can get access inside the mouse. As you can see, this mouse is pretty beat up. I used it as my daily driver on my home computer for years and years. They do make different versions of these now that have the unifying receiver and all that good jazz. I looked at them, touched them in the store. I just don't like them as much as this old one. And that's probably just age. I'm just getting old. I like what I like, right? All right, so we're just going to pull it apart here, and it looks, my God, it's disgusting. That is one heck of a disgusting mouse. All right, so we got it open here. Looks like we got the battery, we got the scroll wheel here, which is what we're going to fix. We're going to change out the battery, clean it up a little bit. There's quite a bit of dust bunnies and skin trapped inside there, so we'll have to get that out. I suspect that's why the scroll wheel doesn't work anymore. It's gotten all, look at that, it's gotten all gummed up over the years. So see, spring hook worked great for grabbing hold of that dust bunny. You can even use it to scrape in there if you need to, just a little bit. That more dust bunnies. All right, so I think in order to make this a little bit easier, we're going to have to disconnect this cable, and it looks like it goes down right next to the battery here. So we're changing the battery anyhow. So let's see if we can unhook this this little strap that's holding it down. So it's just a metal strap. Pull it out. Yep, just disconnects, pulls out of there. It's holding the battery down, so now we can work this battery out of here. It should have a connector coming out the bottom that routes someplace underneath, and once we get it out, we should be able to get access to that. I'm just going to pop that one out of the way and start lifting it up. Now this is the battery for this. I will put that a link to it in the description so that you can go out and get one if you need to. I got it off Amazon. So you should be able to too. Alright, so I worked that out of the way. I'm going to flip the spring hook over and just kind of pop that up. Now it's loose. Pull it out the bottom. There we go, the battery is loose. So underneath here we've got, looks like 2 screws. And we'll undo those 2, and hopefully this little plastic piece, that battery harness, will come out. 1, and 2. Another reason for pulling this out is I want to get any other, dust bunnies that might be down in there, or crud, get it out of the way. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and pull the battery out. So just to wiggle it out of here, one side at a time. There we are. Battery's out. And then we got one of these retainers here. So I just have to pull each side up a little bit. And that's out of the way. And then we'll just remember here that the blue, the actual blue, which does not have the exposed contacts, faces in. So flip it over here, you can see there is the actual contacts there. So when we put it back together, the blue will go on the inside. Alright, so we'll set the top side. Got our retaining clip that goes in there, we'll set that aside. And now we can take a look here and see what's going on. Yeah, just as I suspected. If you take a look here, the wheel is got dust bunnies in it. It does not turn anymore. So we're going to have to probably disassemble this, get it cleaned out. Got a sensor here that senses the little cutouts in the wheel, so it knows when it's turning. So we'll need to get that cleared out. And this, we need to pull this connector here to pull that wheel out. So again, let's give that a little pull. There we go, that's out of the way. And I think if we take a look here, maybe under this dust bunny and the crud, we might have a screw. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but that screw is pretty cruddy. It is so cruddy, I can't even tell that it's a screw. So I think what we're going to have to do is just give it a shot with a screwdriver and see if it's going to come out. Smaller screwdriver here. Yeah, that is a screw. It's pretty bad when you can't even tell that it's a screw. Alright. So we'll pull that out of there. That, believe it or not, is a screw. It is caked with something in there. Couldn't even see the screw head on it. I'll set that one back aside. And now with any luck, that should just be loose enough now to come out. Yep, it's starting to raise up, so it's just kind of a, there we go. This pops off, that is the cover that holds it down. The screw attaches that, holds that down. And you can see we got some more garbage that came out with it. So, yeah. After many years of use, just caked with garbage and hair. All sorts of stuff. I wonder why it didn't turn. Look at all that. I'm just going to kind of work all these dust bunnies and stuff out. Let's see if we can give it a turn now that it's out. Yeah, there's so much in there. You've got rubber, and then you've got all those dust bunnies in there that are rubbing up against it. So we're definitely going to have to disassemble this further. Looks like we've got the MX has a unique feature. It has a standard click when you turn it, and then it has a freewheeling mode, where once you can either put it in freewheeling mode, and it's always in freewheeling mode, or you can have it set so that depending upon how fast you move it, it'll switch from clicking to freewheeling, or you can turn off the freewheeling altogether. So it's really nice if you're browsing along a web page and you get to the bottom. You start scrolling, you're reading a little bit, and you decide, okay, I'm going to skip way ahead. You can just give it a quick spin, and it'll come out of the clicking mode, and it'll scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. It is one of the things I love about this mouse. The ability to have precision with clicking, and then just a freewheeling mode where you can get around real quick. So what we have here going on is we got the motor here, which kind of controls that freewheeling mode. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm careful and not do anything to mess that up, because I'd hate to lose that feature. You can see as I'm turning it here, it's in click mode, so it's kind of has a spring action here, and then when the motor comes in, it opens it up for freewheeling. All right, so let's see if we can get this apart so that we can get all that crud from underneath. So for that, it looks like we've got another screw here. Maybe this will come apart. We'll set that aside. Use this itty bitty screwdriver here. Alright, and it should allow this to come out. The spring there, I might need to, I don't know that my spring hook's going to be fine enough for that. Start that pulling out, and then we'll see, this spring hook is not fine enough really to get that correctly. So we're just going to have to be careful. There we are, and there's our little spring. We'll set that aside over here on the magnet. Now we've got that disconnected. Should be able to get in here now and pry this wheel out. Just kind of push the plastic out of the way. Work it up, do the same on the other side. Again, I'm just prying it a little bit. We don't want to break the plastic. That dust bunny. Dust bunny out of the way so we can see better. we can push that pin all the way out. I'm guessing it's probably attached to the plastic. Yeah, that's not, it doesn't push through, so we can't just remove it that way. Be nice if it was that way. We got the one side out, but it's really, I'm going to need to put something in here to keep it out. We'll do that. You know, if we can pry on both sides. There we go. Just kind of snapped out. Yeah, this was, we've got hair and dust all around this side. So that would stop it from freewheeling as well. We got dust bunnies inside the sensor. And here's how bad it is. There you go, we can see there just how disgusting that is. Yeah. Well, we are disgusting people. We are disgusting humans. Alright, so let's get in here and do some cleaning. Just going to kind of scrape this a little bit first to get the bad stuff out. The real nasty part. That is pretty caked in there. And then we'll use some compressed air afterwards to get it all out. But by scraping it first, we can not have to use as much air. Now we'll grab some compressed air. And we'll hit it a few times. And I got some of it out. Let's do something a little bit sharper here. Just kind of scrape some more out. And then we got some of the bigger guns. Got this old brush. Give it some scrapes. And there we go. Pretty darn clean. Alright, so let's take a look at this wheel here and see how it looks. It is still a little bit cruddy here. It's stuff caked in the side. There we go. This rubber here is actually not in too horrible of shape. It is just a bit dirty. It still has some good tack to it. So I think, we'll just use some rubbing alcohol just to clean it. If it was hard and unusable, then maybe we'd use a little bit of trichlor or platen cleaner, which we used to use on rubber when rubber got hard, fixing typewriters. But I think just some alcohol is going to be best for cleaning that up. So just got a little bit of alcohol here. I don't know where my squirt bottles are, so I'll just have to make do. Spread a little bit on there. Use the brush here to work it in. And rub it in some. I think that's going to work just fine. We'll let it set. Let that all evaporate. And then we'll take a look back at the mouse here some. Get away, bunnies. So our sensors here, nothing is really caked here. I think it's just some compressed air. Should do just fine on that. Those up pretty good. There we go. That does not look bad. I think this mouse is going to be rescuable while I am in here, because sometimes these switches can be problematic. I'm going to just put a little bit of electrical contact cleaner in these. Just a drop. Don't really want to go too crazy. Just get a little bit down in there, work them around. They're doing this just as a preventative. Click them a little bit. I'm not going to spray it in these ones up here or this one here, because that's not going to do much, but these have mechanical parts in them, so if there's any oxidation in there, this is going to help clean them off a little bit. That should be good. A little bit of compressed air. And I think that part is done. Well, let's take a look at the actual mouse here. It's in pretty rough shape. You can probably see there, it's been rubbed out. I think this was that rubber coating they put on. It is pretty much gone. These spots are worn out. It's not sticky yet, which is good. I'm going to use some alcohol in it, which could make this sticky, but I think it's going to be the best. If it gets sticky, then we'll relatively bit harder to get rid of all of it, seeing as it's worn off anyhow. If we can't make this presentable or usable, then we will get all of this off here. This side is about the same. It's a little worn out here. Yeah. So, grab a rag. All right, got a rag here. We can start doing some more cleaning. See how it comes out. Yeah, it is pretty gross. Now you do always run that danger with this stuff that alcohol is going to just destroy it. Like I said, I don't care if it does destroy it because it's already pretty much worn out anyhow. So if we do end up having to remove it, not a big deal. But I thought I would want to give it a shot just to see how it turns out. And I'm pretty sure it's going to need to come off. So if you're looking at it here, it is not pretty. Yeah, it has gotten quite tacky, which is what I was afraid of. So we're going to have to go and remove this, I think, because that's just going to be too disgusting to touch. So let's soften it up again. And I think it's so thin that this alcohol might just dissolve it enough that we can wipe all of it off. Let's see how that is looking. Let's get in there. We got some that's still kind of sticking there. Well, that's not too bad. So that's some areas where it was a little bit thicker. Give it some good scrapes with our thumbnail. All right. Hit it with some alcohol again in those spots. think we got just about all that rubber off of there. All right, so got some dirt and stuff down inside here. A little bit of clean there. Into the crevice. Hit it with this. And a little bit of alcohol. Kind of work it into there. That looks much better. Now we need to do the same thing with the other side. I think this side isn't as bad. I'm just going to, might be able to save a little bit more of the rubber here. I'm just going to kind of take a little bit and hit right in. Just, I'm not going to rub it too much. I'm just going to just do that. Just try to clean it a little bit instead of working the alcohol in there too much. And maybe we can get a little more out of that rubber. Get some of the dirt out of here. There we go. And we'll use a rag some more. Get up some of this more dunky area. Something crusted on it here. Here's the brush. That's not doing it. These are built-in tools. Fingernails always work well. Okay. I'm going to do this. Crevice here. Use our alcohol again. Now, something that you probably could do, if you wanted to, just throw it in the wash machine, dishwasher, and I'll bet that it would probably actually turn out better than the job I'm doing here. But I don't mind doing it this way. So that cover looks much better now. I'll just do the underside. Get out some of the gunk in the cracks here in the casing. Hit with some compressed air. We've got down in here a little grounding strap. So I'm just kind of cleaning that up a little bit. Looks like there's a little bit of corrosion on it. And it just kind of wrapped around here. There we go, that's cleaned up. Got a couple spots I want to hit with some alcohol here to clean it up. edges here where the clamshells together. You get another one of those grounding straps. And we'll get up here a little bit. I think the last thing we need to do is to clean up this small switch here. And let's just see. Work the dust bunnies out. And we'll hit that with some alcohol. There we go. I think that'll work. And so we'll clear out some of the dust bunnies here. Okay, so now we can take a look at starting to go back together. So we will start with the wheel here and reassemble it. Let me get in here with my spring hook and a little bit of alcohol and just do a little bit of extra scraping, rubbing some of these more disgusting areas that didn't come out by blowing it out. There. That's a little bit better. Okay, so now we can work on getting this reassembled. So we've got our wheel, got our pawl here, got our springs, and go back together the way we took it apart. There we go. That spins very well. Much better than it did before. Okay, we need to get our spring back installed. Which will get worked into place. And again, My spring hook is not going to be much help here. So I'm just going to use these tweezers. And put that spring back in, maybe. Okay, it is in there, and then we'll compress it inside, hopefully. This may be something where my eyes just can't see it well enough to do it. There we go. Alright, so the spring is in there. You knew that was going to happen, didn't you? Believe it or not, I got lucky. We might need to get creative for this. Yeah. So that may not work. That would work. Just compressing it in there, and if I can do it very, very carefully, perhaps it won't spring on me again. Try it again. Get in there. Okay, it is down there, but it is turned. I think we're close. Just need to pull it out and try one more time, maybe. All right, let's try and compress it again. Get down in there and now uncompress. Yes, we got it. Take a look here. It is in there very well. So now we need to put that screw back so it doesn't come back out on us. And that was this screw here. It was silver. And there we go, that is secure. It is clicking now, and now it is freewheeling. Perfect. So now we can reassemble that back into here. And we will need that part and that disgusting screw. Clean that screw up a little bit. When you're in here, might as well do it. Not beautiful, but certainly better. So then from here, we need to put this back in. And this is where your other spring goes, because this is spring loaded. So this one shouldn't be as bad. It's going to go right down in the hole here. Maybe. Pull that out, take a look here. That should, yeah, just like that. And that spring gives it its springiness. There. There's that. There's something not quite right. Once I tighten it down, it should be able to go up and down like that. And once you tighten it, so what you want to do, I'm guessing here, is just don't tighten it so much. The idea is that this can tilt the different directions and detect when you push down on it. There's a micro switch right here. When you push down on it, it makes contact. And then there are micro switches on either side here. So when you tilt, it hits those switches. So, I think we've got it now. Alright, so we will reconnect our little engager there. Looks good. And we can put in our battery, or no, we need to connect the top of the mouse. Now, if you remember, I said the blue needs to go in, as our connectors are on this side here. So we will need to put this back. And then connect our ribbon cable. And push it back down so it is secure. Get out our new battery. And plug it in. It is going to go this way with the contacts facing down. There we are. Now we can put our battery holder in. Just routing the wire right down the bottom here. Good and secure. Now we can mount our battery. Just like that. The battery wire goes underneath this tab. Snap that in. And we need our battery retainer clip. just goes on either side. There we go. And we have our screws to go back in the bottom. So yeah. I think that will work. It appears to be just fine. Alright, so now we can reinstall our pads, which the stickiness is still pretty good. So I think they will live. And our other ones. And flatten it out a little bit. And our last one. There we are. And that should be it. Now to hook it up and test it. Of course, in order to be able to test it, we're going to have to charge it first. This battery came completely dead. So here's the charging base. We'll put it on the charging base and we will let it charge. It's going to take some time. Alright, so mouse is fully charged up now, so we'll bring it out. You can see it's got a charge indicator on there. And it appears to be working just fine now. Right now it is in free scroll mode, and you push down on it and it switches to the clicky mode. So yeah, I think that this was a success. So it looks like it's working, and I'm going to be glad to have this mouse back. It's going to make things a lot easier for me with editing these videos, so I can get them out there for y'all. So if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, help me build the channel up. I have a lot more videos coming up with Commodore stuff, with Amiga stuff, some TRS-80 stuff, pinball stuff, lots of repair videos, and other retro things. So I'm looking forward to making more videos that you guys will enjoy. Hope to see you again soon.